10,000 fearless on the move. Let's go.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the message.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi, Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Man. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, and welcome to yet another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your host, Brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. And once again, dear family, we have a wonderful program lined up for you tonight. But please allow me to first begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We give praise and thanks to Him for His goodness and His mercy to the whole of the human family. We bear witness to the oneness of God, to the oneness of His prophets, and to the oneness of the messages that were revealed through them to the whole of humanity. I, as a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, thank Almighty God Allah for His merciful intervention into our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. He is the long-awaited Mahdi of the Muslims and Messiah of the Christians, who came and raised from among us the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank Allah for leaving proof and evidence of His intervention in our affairs in the personage, ministry, and work of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet you in the greeting words of peace in the language of all of the prophets. All of them spoke the Semitic language of Arabic or Aramaic, including Jesus, when they said, Assalamu alaikum, which simply means may peace be unto you. Again, welcome to another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. And we want to get to it tonight. We have a very special guest coming in as we celebrate the 50th birth anniversary of hip hop. MCE will be in the building tonight, y'all. MCE will be in the building. So at about 1:30, we certainly expect our brothers to be tuning in, and we're going to bring them right in, man. They're down at the Delta, down in where the, with the soul stained by the blood of our ancestors, as the theme song says. That's where those hip hop artists are from. And there are many down there. They're like jewels down in a gold mine. They're nuggets, man, that have to be mined out. So we want to present these brothers to us at this episode. So as we always do, we like to begin with what I call our axioms, or to serve as guiding principles to undergird our conversation. So we open with those from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he said to us, "He who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity." It was hip hop music and hip hop culture that served as the conduit that began to expand the diameter of knowledge, particularly among the youth. And the elders had to catch up to what the youth was doing. So, and hip hop continues to be the conduit, the vehicle by which our young people are being enlightened. Because I got to bear witness, man, when I first heard it drop in 1980, it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. I was like, man, what is this? It was a message in the music in hip hop at its birth and in its seminal stage. Second axiom we want to give to you is the definition of a slave the minister gave us when he said, quote, "A slave is one whose power and authority is ruled over by another and whose sphere of freedom is limited according to the wishes of his master." Well, our sphere of freedom is getting broader and broader because our diameter of knowledge is getting wider and wider, and we are seizing power over our thoughts, over our narratives, over our lives. So we just got to begin to organize and seize power over what's happening in our communities. Third one I would like to share from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he said, "When you see men fall, don't laugh, learn. Learn because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you're laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself." Powerful, powerful axioms from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that we like to begin with. We want to get one more in from our brother Carter G. Woodson. We'll give you his this week in his great book, The Miseducation of the Negro, when he wrote, quote, "When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him to go here or yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there's not a back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary." And I cite that one simply because our young people, man, the old dog food type education that we are accustomed to being fed. Man, I got people texting me, asking me, yes, I'm on, that our young people are being fed and they don't want that no more. So they're not in the schools. They're not in the church. They're not in the houses of worships. They're in the street. So that education won't cause them to take a backdoor approach to solving their problems. They're taking an approach that's becoming problematic to the communities and to the cities across the country. I will go further into that, but we won't go further. But just know and understand, man, the educational process that has historically prepared our young people and the society for the future has failed. It's on life support. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us, when a educational system is in decline, that nation is in decline. And let me say to my brother, yes, sir, we are on. Oh, man, I'm getting text coming out of the yin yang. Okay, let me go ahead and let me put this bad boy on silent, because I don't want y'all hearing that. But again, those are our axioms to begin tonight's program. Of course, we want to thank those that are tuning in and they're coming on. Yeah, I see y'all. Assalamu alaikum. Hold on. Okay. My brother Obafemi is already on. Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay. Well, he'll come on at 7:30. I think that's him. But nah, he's on standby. So we thank you all for coming on, and we're going to get started. But the first thing I'm going to do, which is always, we want to show support to those who support us. You know, we have to stick by those who stick by us. So we're going to go and take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back after these commercial announcements.
12, chilling in the studio, taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you know, I don't mean you know. See, I come in peace, ain't nobody I am hurting, except my enemies, but for my brothers I am working. Cause the powers that be wanna see, that's why they're lurking. We're both making our peace, but different food we are serving. See, mine is for the fork, adding substance to the fork, and yours is for the court, doing chores for the pork. We're both under pressure, getting burnt by this 33rd degree. So why on earth you wanna smoke me? It's your brother who's broke, it's your brother who's dying, it's your brother who you poke. Stick him up with the iron, he's the one who is arrested for the same dirty job. After you get a sentence in the prison, full stop. It's your brother who knows and overstands your grind. Your brother has the same pain sitting
worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the listen live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience The Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. Theurbanindulgence.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but 0 fluoride and 0 chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And we are back in the house for another edition of the 10,000 Fearless podcast. I'm your host, Brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad, and we'd like to take time to welcome you once again to tonight's edition. We have, for tonight, our guest, MCE, will be in the building. Yes, MCE Soul Music at about 1:30. But before they come on, brothers and sisters, let me also remind you that the jingles you just heard, make sure you support those who support us. Make sure you go to www.theurbanindulgence.com and get your personal care products that are all handmade on site, all natural, and they are formulated for the skin that we're in. Make sure you go and pay them a visit. Certainly make sure you support Supreme Spring Water. Taste Supreme, drink Supreme. If you're going to buy some water, buy it from yourself, all right? That is the water company that supports, and that is the driving force, really, as part of the driving force for the 10,000 Fearless. Also, make sure you download the Final Call Radio app to your smartphone. You can hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan 24/7. And, of course, make sure you get your issue of the Final Call. This week's issue is Hip Hop Turns 50 decades of innovation through hip hop music. If you want to subscribe to the Final Call locally in the Holly Springs area, in the area of, Victoria and Red Banks and New Albany, in that area, give us a call at 662-252-8999. We'll deliver it right to you. Or you can call P.O. Box us, or send your donations to the P.O. Box, or your subscriptions to the P.O. Box, 517 Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635. And if you want to be part of the 10K Fearless, give us and drop us a line at the same P.O. Box, 517 Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635, or email us at dremuhammad1@gmail.com. That's DREMUHAMMAD, the number 1 @gmail.com. It's about 17 minutes after the hour. We're getting close to the time that our brothers will be on. We want to send shout outs. We want to get all of the house cleaning out of the way. I always got to acknowledge those who support us, brothers and sisters, to our sister satellite locations going all the way down to Hattiesburg. We always shout out our brother Kazim Muhammad down there, and we come up north a little bit into Jackson, Mississippi. We shout out our brother Student Minister Abram Muhammad, the great state of Mississippi. We come on up a little bit to Greenville, Student Minister Larry Muhammad, and then we go over to Greenwood, Student Minister Basil Muhammad. And we come on up to Tupelo, newly established study group in Tupelo, Mississippi, under the leadership of Student Minister Conway Muhammad and the believers there. And then you come all the way up north, you'll land right there in Marshall County in Holly Springs, Mississippi, at 165 North Memphis Street, now named Ida B. Wells Street, for Holly Springs Study Group, under the leadership, really, of Almighty God, Allah, and his minister and his messenger in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I am one of his many students striving to be a helper of his in this great cause. So there you have it, brothers and sisters. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, let's get to the business. I want to set the stage for tonight's program by playing for you an excerpt of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as he addresses the 2001 Hip Hop Summit. And after this plays, we'll be about ready. It's about 7 minutes long. It's a good little piece. So I want you to put your ear to it, what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had to say to the hip hop community. And for those that are not informed, if you know something about the Jack the Rapper convention in the late 70s, early 1980, it was at that time when you began to hear consciousness in hip hop music. Prior to that, we had hip hop, yes. But it was more about boogie, boogie, party, party. But it became weaponized from the perspective of the enemy of our rise when hip-hop artists began to put enlightenment in the music. Because If you remember, back in 1832, in the Virginia House of Delegates, right in the wake of the Nat Turner uprising in Southampton County, Virginia, 1831, Senator Henry Berry said the following year in 1832 in the Virginia House of Delegates, when he said, we have as far as possible, successfully cut off all avenues whereby light may enter the mind of the slave. Then he said, if we could only destroy their capacity to see the light, our work would be finished or complete, and we would be safe. Man, just think about that. But take a listen at this, and we'll come back and we'll get started with our brothers MCE.
All over the world, the youth are being moved by you. In China, in Japan, in Europe, in Africa, in the Caribbean, Central America, South America, the youth are following you. Now, I understand that in Congress, they're trying to pass some kind of law against your right to free speech, and that's disturbing to me. You have the freedom in this society to say what is on your heart is true, but why didn't the government stop Hollywood? Why didn't they stop what big, powerful industries were doing that was alien to what is in the best interest of the people? Why now pick on Eminem? Why now pick on you? It's not about the lyrics. You know what it is? You've taken the children of the rich and the powerful away from their fathers, their mothers, and their leaders. People spend billions of dollars ripping off the world, and they want their children to keep that tradition going. And all of a sudden, hip-hop comes along. And they don't mind little black children rapping. Because you're always bringing out something new and creative. But when the white children in the trailers, when they see, when the rulers see in Iran, the youth in Iran sneaking around, and they listening to Snoop Dogg. In China, in Africa, governments are afraid now because every government has used young people to fight unjust wars for the enriching of the rich and the powerful. This is why your insurance goes up. When you youth get a license or to drive and an insurance, the price goes up. Why? Because you are not like the 40-year-olds that care so much about life. You're kind of reckless. Kinda. So all over the world, they say, come on, young man. Be sure now when you're 18, they got to check you to make sure you're not buying cigarettes, you're not drinking liquor, but come and let me teach you how to kill. Come and let me show you how to make bombs, how to destroy human life. Come on and be all that you can never be in the society. Come on and join the armed forces. So the armed forces are filled with young men and women, 17, 18, and 19, and all those who are fighting in Central America and in Africa, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, learning how to kill and not knowing what they're killing for or who they're killing for or what the result will be. How many wars have really been fought for democracy and justice and freedom? How many wars have really been fought for a noble purpose? And how many wars have been fought over oil and over power and using young people's lives for wicked purposes? So here you come with your hip hop. Here you come with your dread. What do you call them? Dreadlocks. Here you come with your pants hanging halfway off your buttocks. Here you come with a new style and a new walk and a new talk. And the children of the world are following you. You're already the leaders of the world, and it's frightening folks in power. So how do we get our children back? Well, let's get puffy. Let's create problems in the hip-hop community. We've already put guns among them, drugs among them, fostered gang life among them. Now let's put them against each other so that they will never come to realize their power potential. Let's make them fight and kill one another. And every time one of you as a rapper uses your rap song against another rapper, and the magazines publish your words, then the people that love you turn on the people that you have spoken against. And then the other one speaks back against you, and then their group or posse become inflamed. So when you are a rapper and you understand your leadership role, then you must understand that with leadership comes responsibility. You didn't ask for it, it's imposed on you, but you have now got to accept, not take back, but accept responsibility that you have never accepted. I got to talk to you like your brother and your father and your student. I care nothing about it.
Yes, that was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's a snippet from the 2001 Hip Hop Summit. So we're right at 7:28, and our brother is on, Brother Obafemi. I have to learn how to pronounce it correctly. Let me unmute our brother. Brother Obafemi, are you there, sir?
Peace, brother. Yes, indeed. I'm here. Man, what's going on, everybody?
Man, the fall of America. I'm trying to get out the way, man. How you feeling this evening, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Can't complain. Glad to be here, man. Thanks for bringing me on.
Well, brother, thank you for accepting the invitation. I see Brother Said is on, and I've invited him to come on. Brother Said Adams, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I see him on. I'm gonna click him again and invite him to be part of one of these speakers, like yourself. And but brothers and sisters, this is Brother Obafemi of MCE Soul Music, along with Brother Said Adams and the other brother. I forget his name. I just looked at it, brother Obafemi. Could you please help your brother out? I'm a little bit embarrassed right now. It's three of y'all.
It's all good. So it's me, Obafemi, my brother Said Adams, and the other brother's name is Eshmelech. We just call him E.
Brother E, that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Eshmelech, that's not easy. See, it's not a common name, and that's the beauty of hip hop. It's trend setting. So I want to thank all of those that are on. I always, Brother Said, before we get going, I like to mention those who have tuned in. Man, look, everybody's on. We got Sister Audrey on, Sister Bree. She's in the house. Sister Lynchelle is in the house. Man, my queen is on, Sister Shahida. We got Brother William and others are on, man. They're online and they're on live too. So, brothers, we're going to get started with this conversation, man. Look, let me begin by, if you would introduce yourself. I mean, I've called your name. Introduce yourself to the audience, brother, and tell us a little bit about you.
So like you said, I'm Brother Obafemi, born and raised Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Been doing music, man, for over 20 plus years now. But formerly, we formed the group MCE back in about 2008. Active in the community. So I like to say, you know, how I used to have the phrase, the studio gangsters back in the day.
Yeah.
We're not studio conscious. Like, we active in the community as well, man. So we're not just rapping about some positive stuff. We actually doing the work in the community as well. So I just want to add that in there, man.
Beautiful, beautiful. I wish Brother Sid was on so he can introduce himself. Perhaps he'll get on at some point. The technology, there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. But Brother Sid, you are welcome to pop on whenever you feel free or feel so inclined, brother, to be part of this conversation. But the next thing I want to get to, brother, tell us about MCE music and your journey into hip-hop music. You touched it a little bit there, but tell us about MCE soul music, man, and your journey into hip-hop.
That's a great question, man. So as far as MCE goes, of course, the M is me. So I used to go by the music name of Magnum, and then the C is Said, and the E, of course, is Eshmelech. So that's kind of how the name came about. Before we were MCE, though, we were just M&C. So I was a producer. I made a lot of beats. I produced beats for like maybe 15 years, and that's kind of how I met Said through a mutual friend. Said was looking for some beats, and the guy told Said about me, and you know, he bought a couple beats from me, and he released a solo project. And when I heard his solo project, mind you, I'm doing music at the time too.
Right.
But when I heard his solo project, I think it was called the greatest story ever told. Mm-hmm. And I mean, every song he had was, I mean, it was just speaking to what's going on in our community, man. It was very powerful. It moved me to say, man, this is how I need to come with my music, like all the way. Like, I don't need to hold it back, you know. So E is Said's brother-in-law. So he adds the melody, the singing, all of that. He brings that. He's the eldest of the group. So he comes with, from I would say a different perspective of the old school,
right,
to add in with the hip hop that we do. So that's kind of how we formed. And like I said, we've been rocking since about 2008. We dropped our first project in 2010 called Knowledge of Self Volume 1. And man, it's been a journey ever since.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Said, okay, there he is. Okay, let me invite. There he is. Brother Said.
Hey, peace, bro. What's going on?
Man, look, you know what's going on, man. MCE in the building. How's it going, my brother? I'm glad we got you on, Brother Said. Thank you for that answer, man, about telling us about MCE. We're going to double back, rewind a little bit. Brother Cedric is on, or Brother Said is on. Brother Said, introduce yourself to the audience, man, and tell us a little bit about you, sir. Your volume is very low, Brother Said. We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
That's a little bit better. If you can come up a little bit more, that'll be great.
Headphones, man.
Okay.
Am I still low?
Yeah, you're a little low, but we can manage that, brother. Just make sure you speak up and speak clearly.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Brother Sid Adams, originally from Chicago. I'm the C at MCE. Been in Palo, Arkansas for over like 20-something years now, man.
Yes, sir.
Been doing this music for, just about the same time, for a long time, man.
Okay. Do me a favor, brother Said. Try it without the headphones, and let's see what happens with that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get it together, you all. Our brother Said of MCE. He's the C in the MCE. Well, yeah, we're going to have some echo. So you're going to have to use the headphones. So just speak as loudly as you can, my brother. Please continue.
Hello?
Hear me?
Yes, sir. There you are.
Is it still low?
Okay, now you're up now.
It's the headphones, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the brother said, man, I heard him earlier, been MCE for like over 20-something years now, man. And like you said, man, just, reflection of us, reflection of, things we do in the community is a reflection of our music.
Right. Excellent. Man, we are certainly glad you all accepted the invitation to be on tonight. Brother Obafemi, man, he's representing well so far, man. I know he's going to keep on. But I got some more questions for y'all, brother. Let me begin by asking, either of you can answer this. How do you see hip-hop's relationship or role in our struggle for liberation in 2023 and its potential to impact our youth in a positive way in our communities? If you want, I'll ask that again. I know that was long.
I got you. So the role that hip hop plays in the liberation struggle, 2023, man, I think that we are embarking upon a time where, the music is a reflection to me of what's going on in our communities. Now, we have so many different ways that music gets to the people nowadays versus back in the 80s and 90s. Like, we had to, you caught the radio or you came home and watched BET and Rap City or The Box and stuff.
That's right.
MTV, these were the outlets. You had to go to the store and buy physical cassette tapes or the CDs and stuff like this or the records. 2023, the level of access to music today is, it's so open. Yeah. So there's so many different channels to get the music out here. I don't like to use the word mainstream because I don't see that as the mainstream of where we should be getting our information or inspiration from. And two, they control that. So it's not our mainstream. We have to develop our own stream to where the music that helps to inform, uplift, to nurture, to all of those things, we got to develop our own stream for that type of content, music, film, all of that to get to the people. So, and that's part of what we're doing tonight, man, is using our own streams, our own networks to help get the word out, get the message out, man.
Oh man, exactly, man. You hit that. You nailed that when you knocked that one out of the park. And what that does, brother, it allows us to control the narrative. Anything you want to add, brother? Said?
Yeah, I would say 2023, man, like you said, it's so much access to the news and everything else. Like, in 1990, you wouldn't knew what was going on in New Orleans, if they had, anything racial stuff going on, except by the newspapers or, the big newspapers. But in 2023, you can see those things. So since our people are seeing that what's going on in their city is happening everywhere, I think that kind of affects our mindset in the music, and then accepting, you know. So I think music will change once everybody realizes like this ain't just here, it's everywhere. What's going on, you know?
That's right, man. I would agree 1,000%. One thing they learned during the civil rights movement, brother, was when they showed those images on national news. People being fire hose, they realized that was a mistake, because we still had somewhat of a spiritual nervous system whereby when we saw each other hurting in Mississippi, the brothers and sisters in New York, when they saw it, they felt it. And they learned from that lesson. And they also learned that the music of the 70s, the OJs, the Temptations, that music, when you listen at the content of it, when you listen at how the OJs used to say, how can you call me brother if you really, really don't mean it? And those kinds, they learn from that. So we have to create our own streams because they've poisoned. And this can allow me to dovetail into my next question. Do you all believe that hip hop and hip hop culture has been weaponized and poisoned against the youth in a way that it inspires or encourages drug use and violence and abuse of our women? If so, if you think it has, explain your perspective on that.
On my perspective, I would say, you know, hip hop has been used as a tool, but so has the media, period. Because hip hop is a part of the media, you know, now, and so has music, so has magazines, you know. So I know music plays a part, but music is a reflection of the society.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. So it's a symptom. It's not something that creates. And you can, you know, if you're a person that want to smoke, if you're a person that on some gangster, you know, you're going to listen to the type of music that influences you to keep being that.
Right.
But I don't think it's just so much that it's a lot of music out here, you know, music has been the blues, the jazz, you know, it's more than just that, you know. Hip hop is a tool and we can use it accordingly.
Right. Man, beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. Brother Obafemi.
Yeah, so let me just say this, man. I definitely think that there has been a concerted effort using their mainstream to promote different ideas and concepts that have been shown to be detrimental in our community. I think that, you know, in the 80s and 90s, you know, hip hop was still very much regional. And so hearing artists and groups from different places kind of helped you to get a feel of, hey, this is going on in New York. When you heard Tribe Called Quest, they had a sound, what they were talking about. You got a little piece of that part of New York. When you heard NWA, you know, Eazy-E said, we're street reporters. We're reporting what's going on in South Central and Compton. So we kind of got an idea of this is what these brothers are viewing life like in where they live. I think that as hip hop expanded and it got more corporate control, they have filtered out, I would say, some of those that balance that used to be in mainstream music. You know, you could watch an Ice Cube video and then you could see Public Enemy, and then you could see, you know, you had variety, so you had a lot to choose from that was mainstream. That's right. And today they've pushed a lot of that the consciousness away from the mainstream, so the children, at least through their stream, they won't get that access. You have to go and search for it on your own right now. You know, so I definitely think there's been an effort to minimize the subject matter and persona, these different archetypes of what artists can be today. Hey, you gotta, you know, the brother from Arrested Development called it the nigga factory, basically.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, that's what he called
It's like an assembly line that's just rolling off the same artists over and over and over again with the same content, no matter where they from. It's the same. The content don't change.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's deliberate. That's deliberate. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You know, brother, the point that you made about the filtering out, I mean, that's what the big record labels do. And it gives the perception that brothers like yourself, MCE, it don't exist because they push those kinds of artists out of the picture frame and they superimpose the drill rap, as it's called today. You know, the hardcore, and I mean, by way of repetition, they make that, you know, the song. You ever heard a song that when you first heard it, you didn't like it? But they play it so often, you find yourself humming the song that you really don't like.
Right.
But because they keep playing it over and over again, it becomes, they sear it into your consciousness to the point to where the song, you really didn't even really care for the song. You find yourself humming it to them, even patting your foot to it. So it's a science to how they, as you all brothers have clearly articulated and very well articulated, how they use it as a tool against us. So the next thing I want to do, brother, I have another about a 3-minute clip, and I want to get your thoughts on what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is going to say in this 3-minute clip about hip hop, because a lot of people don't realize that the minister is well connected. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is well connected to the hip hop community, and he has served as an inspiration for many of the artists that speak truth to power, that give music and content, as you said, Brother O, I'm going to just say Brother O, to inspire. But take a listen at this, dear brothers, and then we're going to come back and we want to chop it up where this segment of the minister is concerned.
Like that. I care nothing about applause. I used to like that, because I was in show business and that's what we live for, you know. But I don't care anything about that. What I care about is if God can inspire a word that I say to touch your mind and your heart, and you get raised in consciousness one more degree, then I have done my job. But one rap song is worth 1,000 of my speeches. One movie is worth 10,000 of Quasy's and Mines and Hugh Price's and all the preachers that preach. One movie. So when you start affecting the people of the earth with your songs, now government is frightened because America is perched now for war. The question is, who will control the youth of the world? And what you have done, my dear brothers and sisters, you have literally put black and white together in a way that's frightening to those who want to keep the old way of racism going and have us clashing. The Hispanic rapper, the white rapper, the black rapper, you clash. But today, something is uniting you, and that's frightening to those in power. Your potential to change reality is so great that if you learned the skill of words and how to use words, if you learned how to say what it is you want to say, but say it in a way that gains universal respect, then the rap would evolve to an art form that will never be replaced, but will evolve to be that form that will set the stage for the next stage of its evolution. I have learned through years of pain that I can say the same thing and get better results if I don't say things that trigger the wrong response. There are words that can trigger a hateful response, and there are words that can bring people to you. The rap that you speak has brought the youth all over the world to you. Now the question is, what are you going to do with your leadership role?
Now, that's powerful. The minister said, one rap song is worth 1,000 of his messages. That's powerful. One movie is worth 10,000. So he's speaking to the potential power and influence of hip hop music. Brothers, share your thoughts on what you just heard.
Well, that was, that was very, very powerful. You know, the great ancestor Amiri Baraka said the artist's role is to raise the consciousness of the people. You know, he was one of the, I would say, the founders of the Black Arts movement in the 70s. And, you know, I look at, you know, even if you go to the scripture, it says, in the beginning was the word. All right. Understanding that our words, the word holds power. How we choose to use our words and what we put into these songs can have they're going to have an impact. Now we have to, as artists, to me, we have to say, what type of impact do you want this to have on the listener? You know, who is your audience? You know, so people have asked, like, you know, why do you choose to make this type of rap? Like, how come you don't just do the stuff with everybody else doing? You know, the reason why we do what we do, it serves a higher purpose. Than I say we doing God's work. You know, we making music for the people, for our people, to help raise that consciousness, to help them love themselves, to love who and what we are, so we can make a better, we can make some changes for ourselves. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Said, you want to speak to it, sir?
Yeah, I have a couple points, man. For one, hip hop supposedly supposed to be a culture. So we're not just talking about rap. We're talking about art, dance, everything that's around, books, everything that's around that's supposed to be part of that. So everything is supposed to be reflection and bouncing off each other. Right. Another thing I got from him talking is, when you listen to jazz or any instrumental, you hear the trumpet, the sax, the beat. When you put a voice on it, it adds a whole nother element to that track. And to me, the voice, is an instrument as well. So
yes, sir.
So it really depends on, like you said, how do you use that instrument? And that's, it's like when you hear poetry, there's no music behind this person. They really putting to you what they wrote down. And so it can be a powerful instrument to use. It's a tool to use, like you said. How do you choose to use it?
Yes, sir. Man, beautiful answers. Brothers, look, it's about that time. You heard the music in the background. It's about time to take a break. And we're going to come back to the last 30 minutes of the program. We got one more excerpt from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan we want to play, and then we want to ask maybe one more question, brothers, and find out what you all got going on for 2023. We'll be right back.
God as an excuse not to stand up and confront their enemy is my people. Negroes are the only people I know that
Ghost. I ain't dead. It's a pleasure to give my life just to live forever. He who weaponizes the blood of martyrs said, get your children ready for the slaughter. Blame the patriarchy, thank your fathers. But every racist devil had a racist mama. When strange fruit meets forbidden fruit, your hands up today, don't shoot. So say my name. Really can't afford this price of fame. Who knew the guy had a boomerang and he called it karma? She ain't never shied away from no drama. From 1555 to 1955, we watched it intensify. Some still believe the lies, cause niggas too scared to believe their eyes. My fear died in the Tallahatchie. Rose from the dead, can't catch me. Patriots say nothing to get back. Gave birth to the hit back. Graduated to the click clack. Black Panthers and the black Muslims, yeah, devil this, that. Payback is a Karen with a pimp slap. You don't wanna miss that. Got the weight of the world on my back, devil lift that.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com. Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
Fearless on the move.
We're on the move. We're on the move. All right, we're back for the last 32 minutes of tonight's broadcast. We got MCE in the building, brother O Bafemi, and our brother Said. And E, he's not on with us tonight, but they are the trio out of the Delta, MCE Soul Music. Brothers, of course, audience, those jingles you just heard, we are on a pursuit to get 1,000 Final Call recipients in the area of Holly Springs, Victoria, Mississippi, and wherever you are in North Mississippi or wherever you are in Mississippi. Subscribe to the Final Call. If you want home delivery and you're close to Holly Springs, Mississippi, give us a call at 662-252-8999. We need 1,000, you all. That's the goal. 1,000 people to receive the Final Call newspaper in their homes on a weekly basis. There are only $2 per issue. So if you spend $8 with the Nation of Islam, why? Subscribe to the Final Call. If you want to help clean up our communities, if you want to help enlighten and keep our people informed and bring balance to what they're reporting in mainstream media, which we know most of the time is skewed and spin media, subscribe to that news organ. So there you have it. So let's get back to our brothers, MCE, that's in the building with us tonight. We're going to go ahead and play another excerpt from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brothers. I want you to do the same. Take a listen at what he has to say to the hip-hop community, brothers, and we'll come back and share your thoughts. This one is just a little 3 minutes long, 3 minutes and 1 second to be exact. So take a listen, and we'll be right back to chop it up on this one.
They want to know what Farrakhan is going to say to the youth leaders of the world. Well, here it is. I believe that you can change the reality of American life and the racism that exists, that has persisted and defiled and corrupted and destroyed American society. I believe you got the power to change it. I believe that they can't fight war if the youth are enlightened and become instruments of peace and justice in the world. Then you can force government to change policies. I believe that 18 to 30 is the group in America that is not registered, don't care nothing about voting. So the politicians play to gray power because old folks have united. They play to gay power because gays have united. But they have no program for youth, because the youth, which is the most potentially powerful group in the country, have not organized. And if the youth were organized, politicized, and highly enlightened, then the 2-year-olds that learn your rap can learn more than ABC and Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse, because they're listening to you more than they're listening to their parents, more than they're listening to their preachers, more than they're listening to their teachers. So the question is, will you accept your responsibility as a leader and as a teacher and lead and guide the youth of the world so that the elites, the governments of the world, will never make merchandise of young people again and use you to fight unjust wars that enrich the rich and aid in the destruction of the weak and the poor. Now, it's going to take some courage, but you got that. But it's going to take some study. You have to digest a newspaper, because current events is what rap artists got to rap on. But put your spin on it.
Powerful. Okay, brothers, share your thoughts on the minister's words, the potential power of the hip-hop community.
Yeah, so I would say that, like you said, the potential of what hip hop can do, the level of influence that artists do have and can have, and taking that responsibility, I look at it as we do have that responsibility. And one of the biggest takeaways, he said, you're gonna have to do some studying.
Come on,
you
now.
have to read.
That's right.
Ain't no way around that. Like you can't inform the people if you don't know what's going on, if you don't thoroughly understand what's going on. And so that's gonna take some time. That's gonna take some. I say you're gonna have to humble yourself.
That's right, bro.
And I also think that it's going to take some sacrifice, because what we're doing ain't this ain't popular.
It ain't the glamorous life.
What we doing, this not a popularity contest. We're not in this to be popular doing this. we really trying to get the word out and get the message out. So that level of sacrifice, knowing that, hey, man, these major labels, they are not looking to promote this type of music.
No, sir.
Then, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a sacrifice, but you know, our people are being sacrificed every day to this system.
That's right.
So, you know, we gotta weigh that out and say, hey, either I got to sacrifice something for me, for my people, or I can keep seeing my people being sacrificed to this system. You know.
Man, Brother Said, what you got for us?
I think another one of the biggest roles is the consumer, the brothers and sisters who purchase this music, listen to this music.
Yes,
they have the power to not uplift this music and choose different. You can choose your path. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to listen to what they call mainstream. You know what I'm saying? You can boycott the rapper that's talking murder, that's talking death. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can boycott everything else. You know, that's a powerful, you know, notion too, because we spend a lot of money with this. We say that we want something different, but what's in your playlist right now?
Come on,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we really got to check ourselves on that, because I listen to music, but I also check what I listen to. I don't have to listen to that, you know?
That's right. That's right. And, you know, brothers, you brought to mind, I lifted a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that speaks to what you're saying, particularly as it relates to sacrifice. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan said these words, brother. He said, quote, "No one can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad, and this is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition," end quote. And you hit it, brother, right on the head, man. It's going to take some sacrifice, because they spend billions of dollars to keep our people in this condition, because they extract even more from us, monetarily speaking, by us staying in this condition. Prisons profit, the undertaker profits, everybody profits off of our suffering. So now I want to get to something practical. You know, one thing about us in the Nation of Islam, brothers, you know, sometimes, we talk about the problem. We get paralysis by analysis, as sometimes they say. We science it up. We come with the beautiful speeches, the beautiful words. And now when the rubber hits the road, that's where it's really at. So what are some of the practical steps, brothers, that we can take in the hip hop community, bridging the gap between that community, the youth, and the elders? Because there's a saying that says, old people or old men for counsel and young men for war. But they've divided the young from the old. So what are some practical steps that we can take to help stem the tide of violence and the kind of things we see going on in our community?
That's a great question. For one, men have to become visible in our community. Men cannot play the background.
Come on, man. Hold on. Yes, sir. We firmly believe we can't be sitting in the background. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, we can't sit on the back. We can't sit in the background. We can't be on the sidelines watching and talking about how bad it is. There's a saying, they say when the dogs away, the cats will play. When the men not present in the community, the young boys gonna run amok. They gonna run wild.
Yes, sir.
Because the men haven't organized themselves to say, hey, this is acceptable. This is what we doing. This is what needs to happen. This is manhood. That right there ain't manhood. You may be a male, but that don't make you a man. So that's one thing we need to do. As far as the music goes, I think we need to develop. I think we kind of touched on this a little earlier. We need to develop some channels, whether that's through digital or concert or tours that present these type of artists. You know what I'm saying? From in a regional scale or nationwide type of thing. Artists that make music that's really speaking to the issues of what's going on in our community need the support of the people. But because most of us, the average person never heard. They don't know us.
Right.
You know, because we don't have the $1 million budgets. We're not getting flew out from coast to coast and got, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on recording and you know, all these type of things. So again, platforms like these is where it starts. But the last thing I want to say is we have to develop a network of these. We need a network of these type of podcasts and channels to be able to facilitate this. The same thing what you're doing with advertising the businesses. We need a network to help do these things, and I think we can see some changes in our community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Said.
We have to be able to use this media for our benefit. Like you see now, you see AI. You know what I'm saying? They can mimic voices and all type of stuff, man. Like they steady capitalizing off of the music that we don't want to hear in the first place, but they steady capitalizing off you dead. You know what I'm saying? When you're dead, they steady using it. So I'm saying we got to be able to use the media. We got to be able to use the video, the paper, like you said, the podcast, the networking. We got to understand everything they use and everything they build is initially for war first. You know, so
yes, sir.
We got to use those tools in our favor, you know?
Yes, sir. You know, brothers, in our lessons in the Nation of Islam, we have a problem. What is something called a problem book, and there's a question in it or a problem. It said a lion is in a 2,000 by 3,000 mile cage. That's the square mileage of America, by the way. It's 2,000 by 3,000. And there's a lion in it, and it's a cage, and it's going pacing back and forth. It took the lion 400 years to find the door. Then it asked, with modern technology, how long will it take him to get out of the cage? The modern technology, in my mind, brothers, as you just expressed, are these mediums and these avenues by which we can communicate. It's gotten to the point to where, brother, you all know like I do, because I do music myself. I have a studio here in my home where I write, arrange, and record my own music. There was a time when you couldn't do that. You had to go to a big production studio and spend a whole lot of money on some studio time. And we just didn't have that paper, you know. But now, brother, with software and the availability, you get a Mac computer, an audio interface, a controller, and if you know how to manipulate the software and use it and maximize, man, you can write, arrange, record, and master your own music. So the modern technology is really where it's at. So, and another thing, brother, I would add that in terms of practicality, one of the things that we have to speak to in our communities and using these vehicles by which to get the information, and we create networks. Along with creating networks, we also have to create a spiritual nervous system again, whereby we feel one another's pain and when we feel another's hunger pain. So the practical response to that, Mississippi is the blackest state in the country, and we own a lot of land. So we need to also have the element of food, clothing, and shelter, because it's difficult to hear the truth when your stomach growling. It's difficult to give attention, to the revolution when you don't know where you're going to sleep at the next night. So all of our real estate professionals, all of our people, no matter where you are in terms of business, we need to begin to hitch our wagons together. And like you said, you all brothers well articulated, we have to create a network of these. And you mentioned, brother, with the advertising and whatnot. Man, I'm doing advertising for our brothers and sisters for just about Nathan, but I'm getting to the point to where I'm going to be started asking for some donations, because the reality is, to keep this kind of thing going,
You got to keep it going.
Yeah, we need the kind of monetary support to keep it going. For right now, I'm doing it on a shoestring budget right out of my pocket. And I know it's only a matter of time that I won't be able to sustain that without some outside support from the brothers and sisters. But look, I'll bite the bullet until God blesses us with change. So I'm going to wait till my change come, and we're going to stay on the grind. Now, last question, brothers. Look, man, that time going. We ain't got about 15 minutes left. No, that's some good time. But, brother, I hear something that y'all got going on in 2023. MCE Rap Reform 2023. Man, share with the audience what's going on with MCE Rap Reform 2023.
So the Rap Reform, I started off, what ended up last year, and I was just thinking about, we really need to look at and analyze how our music is moving. And as a group, I said, well, hey, we wanted to do what I call a podcast tour. And so the Rap Reform was to speak to these issues. How does hip hop affect us in the liberation struggle? How does hip hop affect us in nation building? Like, what role does art play in our culture to help uplift, to help our people to embrace who they are? One of the things MCE tries to do with our music, I wouldn't even say try, like we do with our music, is we want our people to love themselves.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Come on,
we are not about teaching you to try to hate nobody else. We want you to love who you are. We want you to embrace who you are. Embrace your culture, embrace your values, embrace your ways. So that's what the Rap Reform is truly about, is about loving who you are. We want our people to love themselves and uplift our things. If we talking about, for example, we got artists that, it's been customary for decades for artists to promote these different European brands of clothes and all of this type of stuff.
Go ahead, brother.
Why not promote black brands? Why not blow these up? Like, these companies already are multi-billion-dollar companies.
That's right.
And you got a brother and sister that's making shoes or making purses or making hats and shirts. Like, why not promote these brands? I know they can't put the same amount of money in your pocket, but just you wearing them in your videos and stuff like this helps to increase their visibility. So that's what Rap Reform is about. It's about us reforming our mindsets around why is the standard in our community for rap music set on negative.
Come on, brother. Good God.
We gotta change that. That's the standard. When I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet. One time we had a show, and the host introduced us as, hey, these are the positive rappers, and it made me think. I said, well, man, when these other cats come up, are you gonna introduce them as the negative rappers?
Come on, brother.
But, they're not going to do that. So, that's like the default. The default is we got to be degrading to our women, to our people, to our culture, all of this. We got to degrade it. And that's going to sell. Well, who's buying it the most, though? Who wants you to degrade yourself? Who wants you to throw your women away? Who wants you to do that? Somebody's benefiting off that more than the rap artists are. And we got to really look at that. So that's what Rap Reform is about.
Man, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anything from you, brother, said?
He said
it all, brother. Man, look, brother, look, man, I appreciate that answer, because there has to be, that connection has to be reestablished. And we have to learn to love ourselves. That's where it actually starts. And we are at that point in the program at our cultural segment. And I want to play a track from you all. It's called Working on Myself. And it speaks directly into what you just said, Brother O. And it reminds me of what we study in the Nation of Islam. We have a 21 study guides, and it is a course of study entitled Self-Improvement is the Basis for Community Development. And we are in Holly Springs every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. having roundtable discussions about improving self. We invite the community out. Whether you're a Muslim or not is irrelevant. If you just want to come and have the discussion about self-improvement and the steps that we can and must take to improve self, because the community is no better than the people that live in the community. But we're at that point, brothers and sisters. We still got MCE in the building. We want to share with you what I think is a masterpiece of a track entitled Working on Myself. And I want you all to really listen to the lyrical content of what these brothers put together. Check this out, Working on Myself. We'll be right back.
Well, boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
MCE in the building. Y'all know what time it is. Yeah.
Been in my house picking up some weight, cause I wanna cut that 230 down to 208. It's like 230 now, I ain't ate since 208. Hungry than the mug, in the kitchen picking up some weight. A minute, my decision of what I eat is a reflection of what's in me. I take the direction of what's in me, I'm making corrections of what's in me, what's in we. G-O-D, E-O-B, C-E-D until we F-I-E-E-R-B-G until we Cooper freaky. Work on my conditioning, fight of the condition we in. Unhealthy, it's unhealthy. It don't matter what religion you in, don't matter what tradition you in, don't matter what position I'm in. Positioning myself to be in position of persistence into the years of growing wise and growing old. But I can compromise, I come to both to accomplish just to come and go. Working out machine, come and go. To the fair with the friends who only come and go. When the fair with the end is only sleep snow. Outside, we outside, hitting the road. Let's go.
I've been working on myself, steady building up my temple. Gains on top of gains, health is wealth, monumental. Eat to living by the code. It's embedded in my mental transformation in the making for myself. I don't resemble. I've been working on myself, steady building up my temple. Gains on top of gains, health as well, monumental. Eat to living by the code. It's embedded in my mental transformation in the making for myself. I don't resemble. Shango, Harold, Cootie, Spirit Bowl, on a move, on a go. Comedic drip, draped in gold. G-O-D, I am the mold. Flipping the script, exploring the rhyme. Remember the crib, now I pay for my kind. The hood ain't the same. The weather is strange. Cloud seeding the planes, you think it's a game? Build up my immunity. My people war for unity. Your favorite rapper's eulogy. He's selling death to family. The system must dismantle it. Please believe they handle it. This shit gon' burn candle wick. RBG gon' handle it. 50 in the clip. Set up, push up, crunches, dips. Alkaline, my water sip. Trill like Black Star Line and shit. Brethren, Lion Panthers, Wild Dogs. Speak your piece. Sound out my regimen. Be healthy, man. Fruits and veggies, whole grains, you dehydrated. Constipated rappers need a detox. Astronomical precision in alignment, equinox. Flexing my complexion, melanated, lethal weapons. Channel my aggression in myself. I made plenty investments. I've been working on myself, steady building up my temple. Gains on top of gains, health as well, monumental. Eat to living by the code. It's embedded in my mental transformation in the making for myself. I don't resemble. I've been working on myself, steady building up my temple. Gains on top of gains, health as well, monumental. Eat to living by the code. It's embedded in my mental transformation in the making for myself. I don't resemble.
I'm trying to figure out, I wanna see, can I believe what my mind's telling me? Feel it in my body, feel it in my soul. Do I succumb to it? Do I let go? Foundations falling, no longer whole. Trying to stay up, but it's breaking my soul. Don't break my spirit, don't break the mold. Don't leave me hanging out in the cold. Cause they wanna see you empty. Even though you got plenty. Why they wanna see you lonely? Suffocating down in the deep.
working on myself, steady building up my temple. Gains on top of gains, health is wealth, monumental. Each a living by the code. It's embedded in my mental transformation in the making. For myself, I don't resemble. I've been working on myself, steady building up my temple. Gains on top of gains, health is wealth, monumental. Each a living by the code. It's embedded in my mental transformation in the making. For myself, I don't resemble.
Man. I don't know about y'all, man, but that speaks to my soul. I've been working on myself, steady building up my temple. That was MCE in the building. Brothers, I got to ask, where can the people get your music? Where can they buy your tracks?
So MCE is on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, iTunes, you name it. You can also follow us, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's MCESOLMUZIK, MCE Soul Music, SOLMUZIK. So like I said, all our music is on all the streaming platforms, iHeartRadio, you name it. You're going to find it there. So,
man, praise be to Allah. Brothers and sisters, we have had our brothers, Brother Obafemi and Brother Said and Brother E, who's not with us. MCE, we want to thank you, brother. Give them a round of applause. Thank them for accepting the invitation to be on our humble podcast. And brothers, you are certainly welcome here. Don't be a stranger. We would like to certainly promote your music on this platform if we have permission to play your tracks and let the people hear and let people know that's MCE and support these brothers. And we want to learn about others that are down in the Delta and in Mississippi and other areas down in the South that don't get the spotlight, don't get the platform. And brothers, I'm going to be in touch with you and you in touch with me. We have each other's phone number. We need to talk further about what we can do to impact our communities in a major way going forward. So, brothers, look, once again, thank you all for coming on.
Thank you, brother.
Man, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your time, man, and the work that you're doing, man.
Yes, sir.
I kind of learned about the Mississippi on the Move. Was that last year before last? So,
right.
Definitely appreciate the work that you're doing, brother.
Yes, sir. And we're still in conjunction with Mississippi on the Move. We call it the 10K Fearless Tri-State right now, but we got hashtag Mississippi on the Move as well as Hood Reform. With Brother Dubsack there in Mississippi, and now we got another regiment of soldiers in Rap Reform 2023 with MCE Music. So, brothers, let's keep up the good work. Let's stay in touch. Let's be blood of each other's blood and bone of each other's bone, and move forward and do something positive for our people while we're here breathing. Because time certainly flies, brothers. All right.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, brother. Indeed.
Love you, black man. Y'all stay up, brother. God bless. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings to you, brother.
Yes, sir. That was our brothers from MCE Music. What a wonderful conversation we had with them this evening. And look, we made good time tonight. We got a couple of minutes left. We want to make sure we get those who support us one more good spin. We want to make sure you support these entities. Particularly the Final Call newspaper. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers to the Final Call newspaper. We want to deliver it directly to your doorstep. And if you want to help support efforts like this, if you want to be a part of informing our people, the Final Call newspaper is not, I repeat, is not a religious pamphlet. The Final Call newspaper is exactly what it is a newspaper that reports national and international news and how it affects us, because CNN, they really don't report a lot of what's happening down in Mississippi. And as we go and find out what's happening in Mississippi, we have brothers and sisters in those satellite sister locations that I mentioned that can get those stories, get them to the Final Call and get them published. Because what has been happening with some of our family, Brother Rasheem Carter, our young brother who was shot by police in Gulfport, and other goings on that don't make national news, that never get reported. They reported our young brother who was shot by police. I forget what city that was. I think it was Clarksdale. 11-year-old mother called police for help, and they show up and shoot her 11-year-old in the chest. Thank God our young brother is doing fine. Shout out to Yaga, Main C, and Sister Monique. They on deck, making sure that that family is okay. So we're going to give one spin of our commercials, and we'll be right back to land this plane.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience The Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but 0 fluoride and 0 chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
And we are back. We want to also remind you tomorrow night, as I mentioned earlier, we will be at 165 North Memphis Street at 7:30 p.m. for our Friday night study class, where we will be covering self-improvement, the basis of community development. We are on study guide number 20. If you're listening, if you're in the area, Friday night, that's the night we get out and get our head bad and party off some down home blues. Well, we should be wanting to get our head good and get it straight and get a checkup from the neck up. Come join us tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m., 165 North Memphis Street, right there in Holly Springs, Mississippi. And we will be back there this Sunday, 10 o'clock a.m. for our Sunday meeting, our worship service. Yours truly and the believers of the Holly Springs Study Group will be there. We are sending and giving you an invitation. Come join us Sunday morning at 10 o'clock a.m. right there at 165 North Memphis Street. That is going to do it for this night's or tonight's broadcast. And we will be back next Thursday, God willing, at the same time for more of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. And until then, we leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum.
10,000 fearless on the move. Let's go.
where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the Delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.